A very warm welcome to you one and all. So students, last session you learned what is regression testing in brief. So today I'll be giving you a complete idea of regression testing. So regression testing means whenever you have made any changes to your product or your application, so you have to perform a regression test just to make sure the changes you made is not hampering the other parts of your application. So this is overall gist of regression testing. So when you have to do the regression testing or how you have to do the regression testing, we will be learning in today's session. So basically software undergoes many changes, right? So under the development process, so there can be many changes which is happening to your application. So such changes necessitate because of the defects to be fixed, or it can be an enhancement to be done for the product, and it can be a new functionality added to the application, or it can be the existing functionality but there are little enhancements to it. So in all such situations your application is evolving, means it is changing. So anytime such changes are made, it is important for you to make sure that the changes or the condition work as designed before, okay? And the changes or addition do not break something that is already working and should continue to work. So whatever changes you have made to the application should not break the existing functionality. Your application should continue to work even after making the changes to your application. So this test is performed just to make sure that your application did not break because of the changes made. So regression testing is designed to address these two purposes. Now let us see what are regression types. So there are two types, regular regression and final regression. And what is regression? It is actually selectively retesting just to make sure or ensure that defect fixes work correctly and then no side effects have happened to your application. And why is it done? Because defects creep in due to the changes, right? So whenever you make changes to your application, so defects or bugs keep on happening. So defects fix may cause existing functionality to fail sometime. So if you have fixed one issue or one bug, so it may be affected to the other functionality of your application. So just to ensure that everything is working fine, you have to perform regression testing. And when you will do it? When you have set of defects fixes and that arrive after formal testing for those areas which are completed and performed in all the test phases. So regression testing is a just quick test just to ensure that your entire application did not break because of the changes made. Now let us see types of regression testing. So we have seen types of regression testing are regular regression and final regression. So development team will be fixing the bugs and developing the new functionality or new feature to the application. So testing team will sit and test those newly developed functionalities, or it can be a bug fix, okay? So whenever you perform the regression test to the new feature, it will be your regular regression testing, okay? So you perform it in a cycle wise. So you can see there are 3 cycles, test cycles, and you have performed 2 regular regression tests and 1 final regression. Before giving the product to the customer, you have to perform final regression testing. Let us see these types in detail. So basically there are 2 types, regular regression and final regression. So in regular regression, so it is done between the cycle as seen in the diagram, in the previous slide. So just to ensure that the defect fix that are not done and the functionality that we're working with the earlier test cycles continue to work now also. And regular regression can use more than one product build for the test cases to be executed. So you can have more than one build of your product to have a test. So final regression testing is done just to validate the final build before the release. So before giving your entire product to the customer, you will perform this test just to validate everything is working fine. And the configuration management engineer delivers the final product or final build to the media and other content exactly as it would go to the customer. So what happens, your management engineer delivers the final product to the media and the other content which exactly goes to the customer. Okay, so the same replica of your live project will be given it to the testing team and also the media and other content who is testing it. So the final regression test cycle is conducted for specific period of time. Okay, so which is mutually agreed upon the development and testing team. So it depends on the testing team and the development team. So what is the duration of the regression test, or what are the test cycle phases, or what is the duration of your each test cycle? So that is agreed upon the development and testing team. Okay, so this is called as cook time for regression testing. Next, let us see when to do regression testing. So you need to know when you have to perform regression testing. You cannot do it every time whenever you are sitting idle. Okay, so it is necessary to perform regression testing when you have reasonable amount of initial testings is arrived or is carried out before. So when you have initial tests already carried out, then only you can perform the regression testing. So you cannot directly go on and do the regression test. First it should pass to the system testing and then integration testing. So after all that you will have to carry out the regression testing. And when you have a good amount of defects which have been fixed, that time you can go for regression testing. And you have defect fixes that can produce side effects are also taken care. And when you know that you have some bugs which you caught in the previous cycle and they are fixed, okay, and after fixing that you are sure that it will affect the side area, or it will affect the apart from the other functionality. So then you have to carry out the regression testing. So now we understand when to do the regression testing. So in the next class we will continue with the regression testing. Thank you, students.